Sid Vicious was asked how he felt about the fact that the man on the Clapham omnibus might think that his music was tuneless, aggressive rubbish. And Sid Vicious said, "I don't care what the man on the Clapham omnibus thinks, because the man on the Clapham omnibus is a Any architect who's done some community outreach or public participation might know that that's a problematic approach."
Shit just got real, ladies and gentlemen.
So the best records in punk are made by people that can't play. For me, the most interesting buildings are made by people that can't make buildings.
The professionalism of architecture is at odds with punk, because if you think about what Malcolm McLaren did, he spent many, many years at art school, getting kicked out of art school, but developing ideas. What he did when he had these ideas was put them in the hands of amateurs. Amateurism is a powerful, powerful thing, and I think that's where the strength of punk comes from, and that's at odds with architecture. Sorry, and y'all don't dance.
In the context of Malcolm McLaren and all those people not selling out, it's totally meaningless. They sold out endlessly, over and over and over again. So I think the idea of looking for kind of origins and trying to find some sort of authentic punk moment is deeply suspect anyway.
The idea of self-build has been bubbling away here. Isn't self-build a bit hippie?
Yeah, it is, but I think the point of self-build for many people originally was that there was a way of making buildings and spaces that you were shut out of, and it was a way of claiming some of that for yourself. I wanted to do something with people that didn't even realise they were doing architecture.
Having grown up in Calcutta, I saw self-build as a sort of desperate means for people who didn't really have any other option. That's where I thought the DIY or die thing came from in that context. It's not quite punk, but it's about empowerment.
In a way, what I'm most interested in is what is the kind of illicit way of doing architecture, and that for me is the most punk. Doing architecture when you're not kind of supposed to be doing it and people don't necessarily want it.
Did you discuss this with Carolyn Quentin when you were going around? What was it called? The world's most amazingly beautiful buildings.
Nicholas van Hoogstraat built the largest house in the 20th century. For its choice of architect, he chose a student from Brighton architectural course. I think he built this house, it's a complete monstrosity, with lots of different styles, because the establishment hated him, and he just wanted to produce something that was really ugly.
If we're looking for punk buildings, would you suggest that that's a punk building?
It's punk in its intentionality of pissing people off.
If punk is defined as three chords and the truth, isn't that something that architecture lost but had a long time ago?
Punk was working class. Architecture is incredibly bourgeois. All of the punk bands were working class
Joe
kids.
Strummer went to Westminster.
Who?
Joe Strummer.
Joe Strummer. He was one of the few punks who actually wasn't working class.